This is Bleach. No, not that Bleach. Bleach has always been one of my favourite animes, and when I found out there's a Wii game available based on the series, I ran out and bought it as soon as I could. I ran back to my room, locked the door and threw the disc in the Wii. Sitting inches away from the screen, my eyes glistened as I waited for the game to start. However, the more I played, the more my smile faded and I got the feeling that I'd wasted good money. You're greeted at the start with a nice animated intro made up from various clips from the anime, backed up with a nice song to get you ready for the fight. As you enter the menu, you'll be greeted by the main character Ichigo Kurosaki, who will stand there looking heroic and shout things at you, which is a bit intimidating. The menu allows you to choose from various options, and they are Episode Mode, Arcade Mode, Versus Mode, Training Mode, Orihara Shop, Gallery, and Options. God, that's a lot of modes. Well, it's time to dive in and learn how to play the game, so Training Mode will probably be your first choice.
Alright, here I come!
Now, the controls for the game are actually quite simple. You swing your Wiimote around like a fucking maniac to slash, hack, and stab. Now, the first problem you'll come to is that the game is absolutely useless at deciphering which of these you're actually doing.
You move your character around with the nunchuck, but really you'll only be going back and forth, as going up or down will be a small little sidestep which is practically useless. The C button causes you to do a flash step, which is fancy Bleach jargon for running away like a coward. And the Z button to defend, which you'll learn is also useless. In addition to your basic attacks are your special and critical attacks. These are performed by pressing the A button for a critical, or a B for a special whilst performing your ordinary attack. The difference being, the special attacks do more damage but usually require a charge time, and the critical attacks which can be blocked. That's right, attacks that can't be blocked. So fuck the Z button. In fact, the only way to block them is by a well placed counter critical attack, which will hopefully outdo your opponent. Now if you haven't realised something quite fucked up so far, allow me to spell it out to you. You only have 3 basic attacks, slash, hack and stab. You only have 3 special attacks, special slash, special hack and special stab. You only have 3 critical attacks, critical slash, critical hack and critical stab. And the shit cherry on the cake is that there's no combos. What does that mean? It means you only have 9 fucking moves, and it doesn't matter trying to specifically execute them because you'll just do something completely fucking different. Well, actually, I lied. There's actually 3 extra moves, but these can only be used by filling up your Bankai gauge. But still, 12 attacks. But what the fuck is a Bankai? Well, if you really care, go up Bleach on the Wikipedia. Now, the Bankai gauge is at the bottom of the HUD, but hang on, not all characters have an actual Bankai.
This brings the game to a unique fan-based problem, and that is, if not all of the characters have a Bankai, then how did they get away with calling it the Bankai gauge? Really, what they should have called it was the Go Apeshit gauge, which I think would be much more appropriate.
So anyway, the Go Apeshit gauge is at the bottom of your HUD and fills up when you deal and receive damage. You can also shake the nunchuck to give yourself an extra Bankai gauge boost. But when I say shake, I mean completely throttle it. When the gauge is full, you flick the nunchuck to activate it, which is also as responsive as a fucking corpse.
You can just disappear.
Once going apeshit is achieved, you're given a nice little cutscene to show the Bankai. That is if your character has a Bankai. If not, they'll simply glow and shake in a rather pathetic 2-second cutscene. Fucking hell, looks like he's just had a seizure. Now whilst in Bankai, your characters become much faster, stronger and damage resistant, along with your special attacks being souped up and given the finisher move, which is a small cutscene where you beat the other player, usually killing them.
Finally, there's a little mini-game, for lack of a better term, whereby if both characters hit each other with a critical attack at the same time, it enters a stalemate. And this stalemate is basically a glorified rock paper scissors game.
In this game, slash beats stab, stab beats hack, and hack beats slash. This then boils down to some quick fire timing and the best of 5 system. You might as well just give your Wiimote to your dog for this bit, as it really doesn't matter which direction you swing your Wiimote, the game will just ignore it, like everything else.
All in all, you can sum up the game in 4 basic points. The first is, your basic attacks do fuck all. Secondly, the entire game becomes a race to achieve go apeshit. Thirdly, you'll never execute the attack you want, so there's no point trying. And fourthly, there's no ducking or jumps, which is really weird because in the anime, a lot of the battles take place in air, like in Dragon Ball Z.
To sum it up, it sucks! If you choose to go into the story mode, you'll be given several roles to play out with several of the main characters. However, the only difference between this and arcade mode is the little bits of story at the start and end.
Oh, this is pretty nice.
The small snips of story are all a couple of frames of anime with some very pathetic dialogue, and the stories themselves are somewhat repetitive and warped as each one contradicts the other and each has the same conclusion.
From my body, it's not a bad feeling. I'll be able to have interesting battles like this.
All you do is run around, wait, no, scratch that, fight around, supposedly collecting Sokyoku shards to ultimately fight the boss, a Toro Plateado. Oddly, you never see the shards. But back to the cutscenes. You'll either want to kill yourself or just leave the room during these parts, as the stories are truly terrible.
Good work, Ichigo.
Yoruichi, you're the real one, I hope?
Of course I am. Really, can't you tell the difference between the real me and an imposter?
At least the game is good for something though. I do like that they opted for a very strange style of graphics. It resembles the games of like Beautiful Joe or Ukami, but much more refined. All the characters are well detailed and the arenas look good too. And during the battle, some of the special effects are as sweet as I had hoped for.
Kill you with the next blow! So long!
However, some of the attacks are found just to be weird and stupid. Such examples would be giant flowers and steamrollers. Yeah, steamrollers. There's around 20 or so characters to unlock in this game in various ways, usually just by playing through story mode or arcade mode with specific characters. After each fight or story playthrough, you will receive Kan, which is the game's currency, and you spend it at the Urahara shop to buy artwork and character models. It's a bit useless really, but it shows to keep the fans in mind.
Now there is soon to be a second game for Bleach released on the Wii, which is called Versus Crusade, and it looks to be much more promising than this. So if you are a Bleach fan, then just wait for Versus Crusade. Don't waste your money on this, because it really just isn't worth it and you'll just get annoyed. Overall, I gave this game 4 out of 10 and 3 middle fingers.